I think of Amulet as one big book, so that would be cheating maybe, but I could say Amulet would be my favorite book. I started writing books when I was about 5 years old. The first book I remember writing is a book called Harry and the Fricos, and it's about a porcupine, and he has these little alien roommates that live in these flying saucers that live around him, and they just rotate around the porcupine. And all he did was watch TV because he was like Garfield. He was just lazy. He was a lazy porcupine, and he had three alien friends, and it was terrible. But I was 5 years old. That was my first book. It's fantastic. I am very lucky. I get to choose my schedule. I have to. I also have to choose my schedule, which is very difficult. So you have to be somebody who has self-discipline, and you can organize your own life and say, "I'm going to get this done," and then you get it done. But I like that. It's very, it fits with my personality. And it gives me time with my family. So I get to spend a lot of time with my kids and a lot of time with my wife, Amy, who also draws comics, and we're always drawing comics together. It's a very good life. I'm very lucky. Sometimes it can be fun. Most times it's fun. Uh, and then there are days where it's not fun at all. When you have to finish a book and it's very tightly scheduled and you have no time and you're tired, it physically hurts almost to do it. Those are difficult days, but there's something in the back of my mind that kind of likes those days too. So I think it's all good. It changes all the time. I think of Amulet as one big book, so that would be cheating maybe, but I could say Amulet would be my favorite book. But I do enjoy rereading book five, book seven, and book two sometimes as well. Authors generally don't make much money. And that was understood before I started. I make a lot of money, so it's I do pretty well. I've been very lucky, and I appreciate that. Yeah, we there are animated Amulet trailers. We I can't really talk much about whether or not there's a movie. There's almost always a movie in the works, and it's never animated. It's always been a live action movie. Uh, Hopefully, I'll have more news for you guys in the future and soon. But you can rest assured that there's always something that we're working on. I got good at drawing because I just didn't stop. When I started, I wasn't the best. I was always the third best. In my classrooms, there's always two artists that were definitely better than me. Every time. I don't know why. And I would always become good, close friends with those two artists. And those two artists in every class that I had would teach me things and would be my friends, and they would encourage me, and they were my biggest cheerleaders, and I was their biggest cheerleader. So that was really great. I don't want to be the best. I want to be one of the best, and I want to hang out with the best people. I think that's a really nice place to be. I like having friends that do very good work. I work kind of like a jazz musician. I like to improvise. So I like loose drawing. So I just make a big mess, and I turn that mess into something that looks neat and looks good. I I tell people that I don't know how to draw a good thing. I know how to find it. So I always just search for good material. That's why I draw very, very fast, because I throw away a lot. It depends on the book. Many of the Amulet books only took about 8 to 9 months to create, um, but that was really hard. 8 to 9 months of 7 days a week, round the clock. But I was young and I enjoyed it. I liked it at the time. I can't do that now. Um, but I would say that it would typically take 2 to 3 years to make a book. Yes, I think so. I don't know. It's not out yet, so it's really hard for me to tell. It's not complete until the final artist works on it, and that final artist is usually the reader. The reader is my last collaborator on every book, and until they see it and read it and talk about it, it's not done. So I think it's going to be good, but we'll see. Many of the things I watched as a kid, I enjoy and read as a child. I loved great works of literature like Ernest Hemingway's novels, John Steinbeck novels, but also movies by like James Cameron or Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and those types of movies from the 80s and the 90s where I grew up. I wanted to fuse all of that together, especially Hayao Miyazaki's work. It was very important to me. There are new characters in the new Amulet book, and old characters that we see return for the final book.